Not so fast, counselor, some would say, for the Fighting Fish down in Miami. Because you look at Miami, what they were able to do with Mike McDaniel's year one as the head coach. Tua is such a lightning rod in conversation of what we really saw from Tua, because the concussions are so vivid in our mind that I think we forgot how the team performed when he was actually under center.
Yeah, the people just want to trash talk Tua because that was the in vogue thing to do when he was coming out of college. And instead, you look, so they're 9-8 last season. They're 9-8 last season when Tua started out 3-0, got a concussion. They lost the next 3 games. He came back in week 7. They won 5 straight games in a row. Right? So their next 3 games, now they were losses, but this is the stretch of games. It was the Niners, the Bills, and the Chargers, right? So like, you're not hanging your head about losing to those 3 teams last year. All 3 of those teams were quality. He comes back. It's on that Christmas Day game, of course, as we remember. Mm-hmm. They're up 20-10 on the Packers. Oof. He is 9 of 12 for 229 yards and a touchdown. And then we get that hit. For whatever reason, they did not diagnose what was obvious to everyone on the face of the planet that was a concussion. At that point, he threw for 81 yards and 3 interceptions for the rest of the game, and they ended up losing. Like,
we know why that happened.
Yes. But I mean, again, when he was not concussed, 9 of 12 for 229 and a touchdown, they're up 20-10. He gets concussed. They leave him in the game. He throws for 81 yards and 3 interceptions, and then he doesn't play another game the rest of the season because, oh, by the way, he was concussed. And so you look here, when he's been out there, this team just wins. And there's a lot of talent on this team, and now you're getting these guys that are really kind of coming into stride here. You get Vic Fangio coming in as a defensive coordinator. And listen, say what you want to about Vic Fangio as a head coach. We were just talking about that with Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
But he is widely considered to be a defensive mastermind.
Yes.
Like, this is a guy that is widely considered to be one of the best defensive minds in all of the NFL. And listen, this was a team that wasn't all that bad in defense last year as it was anyway. They were 15th DVOA. Pro Football Focus had them 14th. And so now you bring in Vic Fangio to add to this talent, and it's kind of like, hey, look, oh, by the way, they traded for Jalen Ramsey. They brought in David Long. They have Eli Apple as kind of a insurance policy there.
For Ramsey's injury, yeah.
Yeah, at cornerback. Braxton Berrios to come in and play some slot for them. Isaiah Wynn at right tackle. They brought in Mike White as a backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. So if things do go south for Tua, you at least have a guy stepping in that does have at least a little bit of upside. They brought in, who by the way, he's chosen Anderson now, formerly Robby Anderson. Formerly Robby Anderson. He's in there. Deshaun Elliott.
Still run.
Yeah, and they drafted Cam Smith out of South Carolina in the second round at cornerback for them. Now, they got rid of Byron Jones. He didn't play all of last year as it was anyway. He may or may not have retired. No one really knows what's kind of going on with him. Mike Gesicki leaving is a thing. Like, he was
But
he's
that's
good.
Not the offense. They don't like to use the tight end. Mike McDaniel's opened this thing up, and it showed, as you mentioned, like, by the way, we're going to talk about Narrative Street a little bit later on, and you can't handle the truth. I think that's exactly right. This is narrative driven of somehow when Tua plays and is upright and they protect him, this offense sings, man. I mean, it's right there. I don't want to say it's a Chiefs level, but it is really proficient what Mike McDaniel in year one coming over from San Francisco was able to do to elevate Tua's play.
Yeah, and you have 2 incredible playmakers at the wide receiver position. Incredible playmakers at the wide receiver position. And then you look at the running back, and look, it's a stable of guys, but they all do something well, right? You have Mostert in there, and you have Wilson, and these are guys that have different skill sets, and so they're going
to be
right. Yeah, and they're going to be doing different, kind of different things in there. And then look, for me, if you're looking just strictly at this schedule, we're going to find out a lot about this team in the first 4 weeks of the season. They open up against the Chargers. Mm-hmm. Then you get the Patriots, which, again, we'll talk about them in just a second, who I'm not necessarily jumping up and down about. We think a better version of the Broncos than last year, but how good, don't really know. And then you get Buffalo there in week 4. I think we're going to find out a lot about this team in the first 4 weeks. Is the realistic upside of this team 3-1 out of that stretch? Is it 4-0? I don't know. I think you're probably feeling pretty great if you're starting out 2-2 even in that stretch, because now you go Giants and Carolina, should be win-win. Another tough game against the Eagles, and you bounce back with another home game there against the Patriots. So, I mean, like, you can kind of get through this stretch here at the beginning of the year and get to that bye to where now that second half, Jets team you and I are not, again, as high on as everybody else. You get them twice. You get Washington, you get Tennessee, you get the you get the Raiders. I mean, like there are some things here that I think are certainly working in the favor of this Dolphins team, but again, a lot of that has to do with health.
That Week 9 game just jumps out in Germany against the Chiefs. It counts as an away game, by the way. Yeah, it really is an away game.
It's away. It's away.
You're going on the road. Yeah. Like, what's that total going to be? 70? I mean, like that's the type of thing where it's actually advantageous that's like the Chiefs have to burn a home game by playing in Germany. That makes sense. But those are things also to look at the schedule. If they do keep Tua upright, and again, it is a big if because those are scary, gruesome visual injuries that the whole world saw. So you hope he's okay. But again, proof's in the pudding. When he's healthy, this offense works. Mike McDaniel, say what you want about him. That's why he was brought in. Remember? It was like this was this pedestrian offense that they had. McDaniel comes in year 1, ran it in San Francisco. It's working in Miami. I think they're a dangerous team. I really do.
The only reason I don't like this win total, and I think that I'm probably, I've kind of stayed away from it.
I've stayed away from it.
Look, yeah, I know probably, even though it shouldn't be, is in the back of my head, the whole Tua thing as well. But I don't want to be sweating Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills as the final four. Like, if I need a win
or two,
or if I need two,
no.
I don't want to be sweating that Jets, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills ending to the season. And so for that reason and that reason alone, it's something I'm not really interested in. I mean, like that's going to be a gut wrenching sweat, right? If you need a win out of those 4 games,
buckle up.
It's going to be, it's something. And it's like you said, if you need 2, that is something I'm not looking forward to. So it's not, I think the win total's right on. I think 9.5 is where it should be probably for this team, but not one that I'm willing to play.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.